Dan!
George!
Hi there!
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello, Jackie.
Hello, Jackie.
Hello, Jackie.
This is definitely not our first take. I want the world to know that. Because nothing can be perfect.
They say, don't strive for perfection, strive for excellence.
They do indeed.
They actually do say that
You sound
somewhere.
like if ChatGPT had a voice. Yes, I can absolutely help you today. This is what I have done. We don't use chat. Huh?
Hey, we utilise...
No, we don't.
I utilise...
Yeah, you do. My God.
I utilise ChatGPT for absolutely everything. It knows my entire existence of life.
It actually does. Bit of context. He's got it assigned into the Mac that we all have to use, by the way. And I want to use chat for something else, and I have to see Dan's life story.
It's good though, because it helps me analyse things, and then I...
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked with ChatGPT, but today we're back again. Dan, how are you?
Blessed, brother, blessed, as always, bro. How are you?
Blessed, brother, blessed. How can we not be? Another episode.
What are we doing? We're living the dream.
Today's episode is very special, Dan, because we're joined by someone that is a friend of the business, and actually, I think a huge part of Brighton's community right now. He's got many businesses, such as Nostos, and he's got Little Jasmine. He's very family orientated, and he's just a genuinely lovely person. Like, we've had many conversations with him now, and do you know what? Every single conversation we have with him, we just take something away from it because he's so inspiring. He's so genuine and actually down to earth. And yeah, he's got a lot of care for people. Dan, who are we here with today?
Today, we are joined by Kyriakos. I'm so excited to get into this episode, George. You've named everything there, but one thing that always sticks out in my mind with him is his mindset. The way he goes about life, the way he operates day to day in business, but also just as a human being. So I'm really excited to get into this one.
Let's get into today's episode, and we hope that you enjoy.
Kyriakos, thank you for joining us today. It's going to be an exciting episode. Obviously, we met a while ago now, at the start of this year.
That's it.
And best friends ever since.
Love that. Yeah, absolutely, man.
How are you, man? How are you?
Not too bad. Sun is shining. It's
Yeah.
all good. Summertime, which is my sweet spot for me and my businesses as well.
Yeah.
And people are feeling a little bit more optimistic, which makes all the difference in the world, I think. And the holidays on the horizon. So perfect, really.
Are you more of a summer guy?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my sunshine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Greek, obviously.
There you go.
Born in sunshine, man.
Yeah, true.
So 360 out of 365 days per year. So absolutely, sunshine is my sweet spot.
Yeah.
It's a source of energy. Source of
that's
energy
true.
for everything, right, on this planet, right?
Everyone's a lot more happier when the sun is out. We are more happier.
Oh, way more happy.
Way more happy when the sun out. When it's cloudy and miserable outside, don't want to speak to nobody.
I can tell you happier.
Yeah. In a week's time when it's cloudy, oh god, so you don't want to leave. But let's actually get into your story a bit more. Where did Kyriakos start? Because you said that you've got multiple businesses.
Sure,
You're
yeah.
from Greek, like where?
So I'll take you
from the
back
very-
into
take
the
it all the way back.
in
Let's
the
go.
in the 1990s, man.
In the
Jeez.
1800s.
All right, 1800s. Let's go back. 1977, I was born in Greece, Thessaloniki, which is called capital of Greece. For the next 17 years, I spent it there, and then I decided to study in the UK. Came here, Kingston University, done a bachelor's degree in business economics.
Wow.
I remember still going into the sort of careers recruitment office, and the guy was like, so you want to do IT or economics? I'm like, is that it? I think this is it. And he said, well, I'll take economics. So that was my selection process. So I've done an economics degree at Kingston University, then went back to Greece for a few years, done my army thing, because in Greece you have to, go for a year and all that, which I hated at the time. But I think in retrospect, what a fucking great experience, yeah? And then 2003, 2004, back in Greece, done with my army thing. And I've, over the last 12 to 24 months, I started failing in everything. Like, I lost my job. I couldn't get to university, to do a master's degree. I lost my girlfriend, lost a friend, lost my house, disaster throughout. And then I thought, I started getting involved with various things, very healthy. I was coming out of my rave years as well, I have to mention. And I thought, if I don't put some distance between me and whatever is happening, in this environment, I think that's probably it for me. So I called up a friend. That friend happened to be in Brighton. I didn't know about Brighton at that point in time, or I knew about it. I'd never been. I said, Mike, I need a place to stay, man. I need to leave Greece ASAP. He said, absolutely, mate. My sofa, your sofa, mi casa, your sofa.
De casa, yeah.
That's it. So mi casa, su casa, in a sense. And then I've paid all my debts in about 12 months. And then off I go. Oh, by the way, I said, where is Brighton, by the way? He said, dude, what the hell, man? I mean, look it up. And I did. So the first thing that came out on my screen, when I've done my web browsing, was Fatboy Slim. It was 2003.
Nice.
Fatboy Slim rocking it with 100,000 people getting in the seafront. I'm like, coming out of my rave years as well, it's like, yeah, that's a good solution right there, Brighton. That one can work out for me. So on the back of Fatboy Slim, I've arrived in Brighton. I thought, what can go wrong? I mean, the sunshine, everything, that video, I've played it 1,000 times, that Fatboy Slim video. I bought the DVD, I had everything. So I was imagining my new life on the seafront with 100,000 people raving and having a good time. So paid all my debts and then bought a ticket, £1,000 in my pocket, and boom, arrived in Brighton. Come out of the train, it's February, boys. It's the most fucking miserable weather in the whole wide world. I'm like, I probably made a mistake.
Welcome to Brighton.
Welcome to Brighton. So off I go, sofa surfing, the next 3 to 4, 5 months. First job at the Sainsbury's chicken counter.
Nice.
Solid. And then... But, I had that sort of mindset. I mean, I'm going to change my life. I want to do something of myself. And living in Greece at that point in time, which was toxic for me, I think it was a game changer as well. So it kind of made me more responsible for myself and my future. So start working in Sainsbury's. One thing led to another. I was able to get a quasi semi-managerial job, somewhere as well. Raise some money. Went to a bank, knock on the door. I said, I need a bit of money to go study and do an MBA, a master's degree in business administration. I thought my vision was there. I thought if I do a master's degree, I'll be able to get on with things, which I did. I got the money. I started working part-time and, studying part-time as well. Got in Brighton University, 2004. A few months afterwards, really, 6 months after I've arrived. And then a lot of work. Over the next 2 years, I've kind of isolated myself, studying and working and studying, read a lot, kind of opened my mind. A lot of unhealthy habits went with that as well. Start taking care of myself, start loving myself, boys, yeah? So I think that's very important. If you don't care for yourself, you can't really care for anyone around you as well. True. And then finished my MBA, and then American Express came knocking. I got a job, and then went through 7 years of corporate learning. It was an amazing school for me, and on the back of the MBA as well. I've worked with some of the most talented and smart people out there in one of the best companies in the world. And that was like a couple of years back. I was like raving, man, in the best clubs in Greece. So here I am, presenting to vice presidents and senior vice presidents, for budgets, projects, 40 and 50 million pounds running them. Wow. So I was like, all right, I'm probably doing well. And then 2008, 2009, financial crisis, as you know, and lost my job momentarily for about 3 months. But that kicked off a process within me that I'm never going to be safe in anyone else's ladder. I need to create and climb my own ladder. So that was pivotal, obviously, for me. And we started with my wife a small practice in the back of our living room, doing family and friends sort of massage treatments and beauty treatments. And that little business was the creation, the birth of Little Jasmine Therapies and Spa. At this point, obviously, this business is employing around 30 people, 3 premises across Brighton and Hove, and it's counting 18 years of business making. I think probably the most established day spa business in Brighton. So that was really the beginning. And then on the back of that, start being creative, start building other businesses, start seeing the systemic value of doing different businesses and connecting them with each other. Brighton and Hove is a fertile space for independent businesses, for small businesses, and for people who are authentic and have a passion for the community. Lockdown changed me again. I thought community is the way forward and wellness is the way forward as well. Lessons that I've learned kind of from the past, but reinforced, during lockdown as well. We all had a bit of time, to step back and readdress our situations, reflect. And I had plenty of time to do that, a bit of therapy as well. So we've created a purpose and a mission for all the businesses at that point in time, which was really improving the well-being of 1 million people in our community, either through food, social clubs, massage treatments, facials, so on and so forth. So everything else that I do as well. And I start connecting. Went back to university, I've started contributing, being a mentor with the University of Brighton, sitting on the advisory board. At some point, they voted me a chair for the advisory board as well, giving back, providing advice to the local government, so on and so forth. So my life has changed a few times over the years, but it's really that purpose-driven, I think, mindset, growth mindset, I think that is dictating all my steps moving forward. In a nutshell, I think this is it that brings us to today.
Wow.
What a journey. So many ups and downs, so many pivotal moments, and so many blockages. Like, how did you still remain probably so positive and so driven after the amount of stoppages that you've had?
I think that's it. The more the more things get in your way, the more resilient and the more capable you become in resolving them. And then you understand the systemic nature of problems. They never stop. It's a given fact. The only differentiator which I was able to sort of glean an insight is how we react to them. Problems never stop. The more things you do out there, the more problems will create ripples. But the problems are also opportunities as well. The issues that you're facing are also great opportunities as well. So yeah, it's a matter of trial and error. But I think over time and with maturity, you learn that these are opportunities rather than just problems. It's the label that we put on everything that's happening. From a Buddhist perspective, they're all experiences. Yeah, there's no bad or good. They're just experiences that you deal with them. You learn from them and you move on. That's life.
I want to touch on that really pivotal moment when you're in Greece and you're about to move to Brighton. It's such a big step to kind of uproot where you are, go to another country, go to another place, and kind of start again. What was that decision process like? Did you just need to do it inside of you?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, it wasn't the first time. I've lived in Canada for a few years back in 2012 with my dad. So, my dad and my mom divorced. So my mom said, yeah, you can stay with your dad. So I went there for a couple of years. So that was my first experience at flying from Greece to Heathrow, from Heathrow to Canada. That was like a 20-hour flight. So 12 years old. So, I was well-versed living Greece, and the language as well was there. But you're absolutely right. It was pivotal. It was just leaving everything behind in a sense. I had to do it. I knew instinctively that if I stay, I will get lost one way or another. Die, end up in prison, failure, whatever. I mean, it was short or long term or sort of short term. It would have been a disaster. And there is something beautiful that happens when you hit the rock bottom. You bounce back. At least you would hope that would be the that was for me. I bounced back. My bounce back process was leave, put some distance between me and whatever problems I was facing at that point in time.
What was rock bottom for you?
Rock bottom at that point was defined by, I guess drugs. It was defined by not being kind to myself, not being kind to other people, being an asshole. I mean, cheating with my friends' girlfriends, breaking up relationships. I mean, an idiot, a fucking asshole, for sure. Didn't like myself at that point at all. But I had that sort of awareness, I guess, that that cannot continue. I need to change my ways. I need to find a way through, and putting some distance between this and that. I think that was the my way out, I guess.
I do think it's important to hit rock bottom in any form,
Yeah.
because then it makes you, once you bounce back, like you said, it makes you really appreciate how much better you are. And I guess like everyone's got different ways of getting out of rock bottom. So what was kind of the ways that you managed to get yourself out of rock bottom? Other than realizing I don't like myself,
Yeah.
don't like how I'm acting.
Yeah.
But is there any other ways that you were like, right, I need to
Yeah,
change?
for sure, for sure. There's some strategies, processes, there's things that you can do. I mean, for me, first and foremost, is the awareness that you're not in the space that you want to be. And I was brought up good enough from my parents to be given these sort of tools, I guess, to realize that you're fucking up right now, in a big way. But in terms of, detoxifying yourself, absolutely. Putting yourself in a healthy environment, with the right people around you, because it's all about the environment. Yeah, it's all about the people around you, and then start building things like consistency. Start building things like that learning mechanism, the capacity for infinite learning, and continue improving as a person. I mean, for me, it came through reading, came through the Buddhist center and practicing meditation. So changing slowly, exercise. Yeah, a huge thing. Again, brings consistency, it brings resilience, building all these building blocks, I guess, that is part of the growth mindset and became part of my mantra, since then and onwards. So yes, there's tools and there's ways, but mainly it's perspective. It's a state of mind, moving from A to B. And you're absolutely spot on, having that visibility on what was then and what is now. It changes you, and it keeps you authentic and honest to yourself. So perspective is key in everything that we do.
And are you grateful for now, I guess? Because, yeah, by the sounds of it, it was quite rough how you were. And I guess now looking back, you're probably very grateful to be in the position that you are today.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And that is a resilient strategy against pessimism, against feeling, down, because ultimately, you're just reframing the situation. Imagine if you were there. What the hell would you do? Imagine if you never left. Oh, I'm facing problems, with employees. Oh, I'm facing problems with, the landlords. Imagine, Kiri. Imagine if you never left, and you were still, So the problems immediately, that reframing exercise, again, minimized. It's like part of the process, dude. Part of the journey. Embrace it. Love it. It could have been so much worse, much worse.
Yeah.
So immediately you minimize it. So that reframing exercise is key, and a key tactic as well to be able to do that. But I guess you have to go through the experience, being through the experience, in order to be able to do that effectively as well.
Definitely.
It's not just a theoretical exercise. It's a cognitive process.
Off the back of that, when you're kind of in that scenario and you're kind of, something needs to change, you don't really know what needs to change, but you can't keep going on how you do. How do you know it's the right decision, whatever step you make next?
You don't. That's the beauty. You don't. I mean, you just have an instinct and you follow your instinct. That's it. You get mentors, you get people's opinion, you get people around you to give you advice. But end of the day, you're responsible. The buck stops with you. So you have to take chances. It's never going to be perfect, but you have to try things and trial and error, and then you start adopting strategies and tools and techniques and all, and friends, the right people, and then start. Ultimately, it compounds, and then suddenly you wake up and you have, a few good friends around you if you're lucky, a good job or profession or whatever, a good relationship, or work in progress, and you start counting things that you've done over a course of time just by making small changes on a day-to-day basis. But you don't have the answers. We will never have all the answers. You just have to take risks, and risk-taking is another, I think, fundamental block in building that growth mindset that I've mentioned earlier.
Well, we're very big on that, taking the risk.
Yeah, we
thing,
are.
massively. This is why we're here today. Like we've always found that once you take a risk, it's the most scary starting process, but it just benefits you in so many ways that you don't even imagine
Correct.
when you're actually in it. Like right now, we've reaped so many rewards and benefits from starting this risk.
Yeah.
Because we're young, not even like 30 years old, young entrepreneurs, and we're like, right, let's take this huge
sure.
risk. And then I feel like a lot of people, unfortunately, nowadays don't necessarily have that mindset to be like, right, let's take a risk, because they just don't see how beneficial it can be.
Correct.
I think people are too busy focused on getting results straight away.
Sure.
And they can't see the long term.
Yeah.
So like on the back of that, I kind of want to touch a bit more of like the mindset stuff.
Yeah.
Because I can see that you're very into your mindset. You've spoken about the wellness and trying to help the community.
Yeah.
What do you do nowadays that actually still implements that?
Sure. So mindset uber alles. Yeah. I mean, it's above everything else. Mind over matter. I mean, whichever way you want to dice it or slice it, it's all about the mind. And I mean, we ancient Greeks used to say, your body healthy and your mind healthy and your body healthy as well. It's a connection. It's a system. You can't just be looking good. I mean, go there. If you're sick here, everything gets sick and scanning as well. So it's fundamental, right? But you're absolutely spot on. People do want quick results. I think that's the unfortunate sort of society that we live in, and I think it doesn't come by. It's not just human. It's not human nature. It's the environment around you. That's why the environment is such a fundamental block of who you are as well. The people around you, where you live, what you do, so on and so forth. In terms of practicing what I preach, I think my day-to-day living is a sort of testament to that. The giving back, the helping. First of all, going back to the original point, you're absolutely spot on. You are taking risks. That's why I like you guys as well.
Thank you, man.
I mean, we've met on the back of a failed attempt, of a podcast with someone who invited me and never showed up. And at the same time, on the back of that, and check that out, right? What a life lesson. A failure that turned into a positive thing.
Yeah.
And here we are talking, and exchanging, life stories and life strategies and life philosophy, right?
Amazing.
Which goes to the previous point that this failure is not the end of it. It's just a learning, element of life. So for me, is practicing this on a day-to-day basis from consistency, going to the gym, putting my contact lenses every day. It sounds funny, but putting my contact lenses at the age of 12, when I needed to wear contact lenses, I was giving that an example to a mentee that I'm having from Brighton University, because I'm doing this work with Brighton University, so I'm mentoring people. And I said, at the age of 11, 12, I was diagnosed with myopia, so I have to wear contact lenses. And at the age of 12, it taught me to go clean my hands, wash my hands, get into the bathroom, clean my hands, clean my face, put them in, put them out every day of the week. Consistency. I mean, look at the life lesson, that your consistency is built with very simple things, such as this one, So consistency on a day-to-day basis. I go to the gym pretty much, 3-4 times a day, I take care of myself, nutrition, my vitamins, whatever. I go to work, I talk to my people. It's a consistent habit that builds my day-to-day life, but that gives me structure. But at the same time, I'm practicing what I'm preaching as well. The giving back to the community, as you've mentioned earlier, in many ways and shapes and forms, from university all the way to the council, all the way to charities, so on and so forth. And that builds perspective, and that brings the growth mindset on a day-to-day basis. So I don't let myself forget, in a sense, how, what that growth mindset is for me, and that building blocks that make of it, the risk-taking, the kindness to myself and the community, the consistency, the resilience, so on and so forth.
I wear contact lenses
Sure.
Every day,
Right.
and I was relating to a lot of what you were saying there.
Yeah.
But I find,
Yeah.
and this is so random, but like it's just something. When I'm waiting for my contact lenses to be delivered right now. When I'm not wearing them, I've lost that sense of consistency every day.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel that tiny little bit worse.
Really?
And I don't know if that's goes hand in hand or not. But like I'm wearing glasses and I'm like, why am I?
Right.
haven't done my thing today.
Sure. Sure.
It sounds silly,
but
but
you
like-
are kind of, but that's exactly with all positive habits as
Yeah.
well, right? I mean, once you habituate, kind of, you do something, and then you come out of it,
Yeah.
then you start feeling guilt, and then you start feeling kind of, that sort of emotional. So you're like, no, I'm not gonna, go. I'm not gonna be consistent in my life. It's gonna pushes you back, which is like a positive force, kind of, I guess. I mean, you're experiencing it with contact lenses, but take contact lenses and replacing it kind of with other positive
Yes.
things in your life. I think, Atomic Habits, kind of, if you read the book, I mean, it's exactly the same thing. So
I guess it's like breaking the routine. Once your routine like breaks slightly,
Yeah.
it can shift you slightly, which is quite interesting in a way.
it does.
Yeah, and I guess it's just maintaining that consistency.
Absolutely, consistency key. But we talked about kind of, offline. We talked about the power of breaking things, having a break. And I was saying the Greek word for break is diakopes, which means breaking, stopping, having a gap in a sense. And that what gaps that does is you breaks the routine down and helps you think outside the box. Helps you take the macro view instead of just being focused on the contact lens.
Common theme, these
Which is
contact
very
lenses.
important. Makes you think, maybe an operation will be something that I need to consider. I'm just saying, yeah.
Already
So,
has. That's why he's giving me that look, because that's already at the
That
most.
is literally what I was spoke about the other day.
So I think it's very important as well that consistency absolutely, but break it up as well. Have the holidays, have the time away from whatever you do, because you evaluate, you build perspective through evaluating things from further away or from a different angle as well. It's very important.
Well, I want to touch that because, we had a great conversation
Yeah.
before the cameras were rolling. It's a shame they weren't, because we were really properly talking about holidays and taking a break. So I kind of want to get it on camera
Sure.
too. So you're talking about taking a break. Sometimes it's better because you're so tunnel visioned, locked into what you're doing. You can't see all these different things. But when you take yourself out of it, you take a little break and you stop and you pause.
Correct.
Sometimes you can come back into such a different perspective, and sometimes even more creative, like you mentioned.
Spot on.
Would you say that works for you on quite often?
Absolutely, 100%. I can prescribe, can go to Thailand, every 4 months, or to Greece. So
Yeah.
my wife's from Thailand, obviously I've mentioned that, so it's my go-to space. But holidays changes your perspective, makes you more creative. We're coming back every time we go to holidays with my wife. I mean, we're just talking about it very recently. We come back with so many ideas. Let's do this, let's do that, and obviously most of it doesn't materialize, but one or two things they do. And it gives you the space and the time to be creative and look inwards and think about things holistically, kind of, in a sense. I hate that word, but here we are, from a 360 perspective. And I think things can emerge from that process. I think it's fundamental. If you want to be from being a good citizen to a good person in your community, to a creative founder, to a productive employee, I think breaks are of immense importance.
I fully agree. I kind of want to change the subject slightly.
Yeah.
Because you've mentioned your wife quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I quite like that, because it sounds like you guys are a really good team.
18 years and ticking, yeah.
Yeah. How about we go all the way back? And then we'll get back to the present.
Alrighty.
Where did you guys meet?
So we met in Brighton.
Okay.
I've went to a Thai restaurant which doesn't exist anymore. It used to be King and I, Ship Street, at the bottom of Ship Street, the King and I, and went there to celebrate with my housemate, celebrate getting a job at American Express. Yeah, we talked about that. So and there she is. She's actually performing a traditional Thai dancing routine with a full. An amazing costume, very traditional, because he was, being raised, they, in Thailand, they learn these things, sort of traditional, dances and all that. So there she is, full on with an amazing, and she looks spectacular. And I'm celebrating my American Express job, and I'm like, I fell in love right there and then. So I've started talking with her. One thing led to another. She approaches me. She said, "Oh, by the way, you have a very beautiful voice." I'm like, I took that as a sign. I was like, she's on to me. she likes me. Now, of course, after dating her, in a few months afterwards, I found out that her job back at Thailand was a radio producer. So she was in, and she took a gap year and came here to do a little bit of English, a bit of experience, life experiences as you do. So her comment on me having a nice, good voice was from a professional standpoint. That was a professional sort of, it wasn't, she wasn't coming on to me. So
Oh man.
she wasn't flirting with me. Anyway, I mean, yeah, I know. But I've convinced her to stay, and, she never left, and so on and so forth. So 18 years plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful. I
that's
love that.
2005, 2006 when we met.
Love a little love story.
Every time someone mentions like relationships or something,
Yeah.
I always ask someone, and no one's given me the right answer. No one's given me the answer yet. So I don't know. I'm going to ask you, what's the secret?
Perspective. Listen, I think you need to be mindful that things change. You're not going to be in the same sort of hot zone kind of passion and and wild sex every day of the week. That things change, but they get replaced with other higher, I think, emotions and feelings and all that. And I think we've been through this transition, and we're still going through it, I guess. And we found out that, apart from the physical attraction, there's other things that actually, makes us want to be together. We have an 11-year-old son as well, obviously. But, I like what she says. I like, when she wakes up in the morning. I like when she goes. So we like each other in general. And that, that's like, building longevity, I guess. Are there problems? Absolutely. Have we found a way to go through them most of the times? So that's another mechanism that you have to have in place. But at the end of the day is, don't have crazy expectations. I mean, things change all the time, and people change as well. As long as you can, find sort of, the sweet spot, and, I think, and continue finding the sweet spot. I think that's the, that is the secret, working on it. I don't know if it makes sense. But,
Constantly working on it, right?
Constantly. Yeah. I mean, every relationship as well. I mean, it's not, you give up on something, you stop being consistent, as we said before. You kind of lose out, I guess.
Have you got the answer now?
I think so, actually.
I think it makes sense because
Yeah.
relationships are constantly, like you say, changing. We're constantly changing. People around us is constantly changing. The world is constantly changing on a day-to-day basis. It's constantly changing. But like something I kind of want to touch upon is like, so you guys have been together a very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time, and that's so impressive, and I admire that massively. So you guys have been a team for a long time.
Yeah.
How has that been?
That has been, and that's probably in a couple's life, building a business together. I think it could be, I can break you or make you. In our case, it made us, because through the challenges and tribulations, we came closer together. We know better of with the other person's sort of persona and how we deal with things, and we appreciate that to each other. She brings more stability, I bring more flair. She's more resilient, and I'm a little bit more creative, so on and so forth. So there's that mixing and matching, and a bit of a yin-yang situation, and I think it works for us. Because I mean, the first business, and we're still running it 18 years afterwards. It hasn't been easy compromising, decision making, sharing that, and we still do that in spades. So we still do it well. So again, it's a process. It's a process, and you have to stick to it. Consistency, yes, boys and girls.
Consistency.
That's the key word I'm taking from today.
it.
Consistency, I think.
Yeah.
Consistency, man.
Yeah. When you first kind of were launching your first business venture, kind of, that's a risk.
That's a risk.
That is a risk.
That's a risk.
That's a risk. And I know we touched on it earlier on today about some people kind of might not want to take that kind of risk. They're happy with where they are, and that's perfectly okay as well. Like that's like everyone has their own trajectory in life. Obviously, you were at American Express
At that point, yeah.
Yes. What was that initial starting point really like? I kind of want to live it right now, because for us, we're only not even 6 months into this business, and every decision feels really impactful. Every moment feels massive.
Yeah.
What was the kind of initial starting pieces of your first
Yeah,
business.
I get that what you're describing, obviously. Okay, so imagine I have this job at American Express. I finished my MBA. I've done like 1,000 CVs, sent them through, etc. Handwritten, yeah, not the online stuff. Back then, and handwritten and sending things through, so on and so forth, emails, blah 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 blah. And I'm in it. I'm doing really well. I'm rising through the ranks, and then 2008 comes along, and because the business is experiencing a downturn, my whole team becomes redundant. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I'm one of the best performers here, so why? Why the hell? Unfair. But life is not fair, is it? Yeah, and you shouldn't expect or have any demands from life, to be fair. So you know what they say, necessity is a mother of invention. So here I am, I lost my job. I'm trying to get another one. I'm not good at it. I mean, I'm not good at it and interviewing and all that. And, so I'm going through tons of interviews. I can't find anything. But at the same time, I'm like, right, okay, let's take a step back. What are the assets that we have in-house? What are the capabilities that we have in-house? I mean, my wife knew how to do massage treatments and facials and all that. She had some rudimentary training, back home. I've just finished an MBA and I've got the marketing skills and the business skills and so on and so forth. All right, I've got my brother who's a whiz, on websites and SEO, so on and so forth. All right. I mean, we got some building blocks here. Why don't we, bring everything together, contribute, and trying to build something in the back of our living room, obviously, and trying to see how that plays out. And it worked. We took a risk. Obviously, I was losing my job at that point. By the way, before the expiration of that 3 months notice period, I've got another job at American Express. But the cat was out of the bag. Is that the expression? The cat is out of the bag? Yeah. So the cat was that we start trading in the back of our living room. So when I started again with American Express in 3 months' time, Little Jasmine was kicking off. The website was launched and we started making money, and tax free. Can I say that? Yeah. Because obviously we were not reporting anything at that point in time. So we, we started making, and I'm like, mate, I mean, this is actually working to my surprise. One thing led to another. At some point, we were kicked out of the house because obviously you can't run a business in someone else's rental, and all that. But then again, oh my God, what an opportunity, because that pushed us to get our first premises. And then, so what I'm trying to say, every challenge, obviously, as we said before, it's a hidden opportunity. It depends how you see it, how you deal with it. So that was the feeling. That was the, and then surprise every month, which we were like doubling and tripling and people waiting at some point. And then we moved from one apartment to another one with 2 rooms, and we dedicated 2 rooms. And then we had people waiting in the corridor of the fucking flat to have treatments with us. And I'm like, I came back from work and I'm like, this is impossible. So we had to start hiring people. So we had, working from a flat. I mean, how fucking dodgy is that? but you know what? It worked. It worked for us to raise 10, 15K and then getting kicked out of the flat and go and get our first business premises. And then boom, in 3 years, that 10,000 became 100,000. And then we doubled down again and we put 100,000 to a 3-story premises. And that was it. And then 6 months afterwards, I've quit my American Express job, because obviously we were making $500,000 on, upwards at that point in time. So there was no point, getting the 50,000, 60,000 pounds from American Express. So yeah. Wow. So that was it. That was the trajectory. But surprise, every step of the way. But what the hell are we doing? We're doing something well. Continue doing it and build up on it.
See, now I want to live the feeling. What was that feeling like? Because I know we're going to get there at some point. What was that like to quit your proper job to then be like, look, what?
Insane. I was winning the money. I mean, like, we get money, man. I mean, like, we can do stuff. I mean, we can do shit. And it wasn't like spend or whatever. We can invest.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, the 10,000, we put in the first, then 100,000, we put it on. And instead of taking that money, and whatever, and holiday, we took it and we built it up. We made another bet on the back of all our money at that point in time and we put it into a bigger bet. and all that, and it worked because we knew the fundamentals were there. There was a gap in the market. It was the right time for us as well. We were coming in hot, so double down, triple down with a bet. So the feeling was just of fear and excitement and why is this working, and wonder why the hell is this working. How can I just from basic SEO rise kind of the first page of Massage in Brighton, which was the holy grail, which we've done and we've done successfully, and obviously we're not very visible on the high street, but we became very visible online. And yeah, for the next 3-5 years, it was like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? And obviously having my job at American Express, I wasn't very good at it at that point because obviously I was spending 30% of my time there, kind of running that business. So that's another story altogether. But yeah, so that leaving American Express was the right thing for me to concentrate in 2013, I think, full on onto the business. But yeah, wild ride, guys, wild ride.
I'm looking forward to that feeling, bro.
I
Oh my
am
God.
actually. It's really exciting. isn't
Scaling
it?
up,
That,
yeah.
that kind of thought of your baby is kind of can stand on its own 2 feet. I can't. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I had a question and it's completely gone, and it was going to be kind of to do with. Did you have any moments of doubt in this whole process?
Every day, of every second, of every hour out there, of course, man. Without doubt, you don't move forward. But that's where the courage comes through. Yeah? Courage to overcome that doubt and start believing in yourself. And the more times you do that, the more you believe in yourself and your instincts, your gut feelings, whatever that is, whatever you call it. And then that's what makes you differentiate kind of from everyone else out there. It's that courage. You need to have courage. You need to, as one of my mentors called it, unreasonable dedication. It takes nothing less but unreasonable dedication. You don't know, you don't know the shore across, you don't know where you're going, but you still have to get onto that ship and move forward. That's the courage. And that's the risk. And obviously that's the reward, because without risk, there's no reward. Right? Play it safe, go work for someone else. Absolutely, very valid strategy. I'm not knocking it. But if you want more out of life, give it a go.
We have conversations like this constantly about taking the risk. And it's like, I can't actually imagine not taking the risks. And we go back to some people are absolutely fine, do their normal 9 to 5 job. Cool. If you're happy and if that's what you want out of life, then that's perfect. You can't ask for more. But the people like us that are striving for more and more and more and to impact lives in a positive way, build a community and just do something amazing, there's always that risk factor. And sometimes it does get very overwhelming. And it's like, am I doing the right thing? Do I just give up and go back to the normal and the safe option? And the answer is always no. But then sometimes you dig deep and you go, why don't I just stop? Like, why can I not just be like, no, let's go the safe route? Because there's that belief in yourself and belief in the better life that you can create.
This was kind of in a weird universe way. This was my thought this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually took this morning and was thinking, am I making the right decision doing this? And that's the first time I've had that here. The first time. Like no other time have I ever sat down and gone, shit, is this actually the right decision? Because you look at, I look at how much, I don't know, we're doing well. We're doing really well. But I don't know.
It's scary.
It's so scary. I mean, I know in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to let this feeling sit.
Yeah.
By tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to feel completely different about it. And I know that it's just the way it feels today, right? But I can't help but say I have thought that this morning, which is really strange.
So you're absolutely right. I mean, emotions are transient. They move on, basically. So it's right for you to stick with them, observe them, learn from them. But obviously, don't make any decisions on the back of that. That question will be a constant thing throughout your lives. Yeah, am I making the right thing? Shall I just quit, give up, so on and so forth? Every time you ask that question and you take a decision not to and continue onto your mission and to proceed, you fortify yourself. That's resilience. That's that's answering that question every day with, no, I'm going to continue. That's what builds resilience. That's what builds character as well. You go to the gym, you do heavy lifting. What happens? Yeah,
You either
grow.
lift it or you don't.
You become resilient. You become stronger. That's exactly what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. You're working with your mind, because that's heavy lifting. Asking that question to yourself, am I doing the right thing? That's heavy lifting. And every time you're answering that, finishing a gym session, that's what you do. You build more and more and more. I'm not gonna tell you that it gets easier. I'm not gonna give you that. Obviously, if you have a bit of, behind you, if you made some money, if you have some, some laurels, some, obviously you can look back at that and say, actually, it's working. I'm doing it. You have some history, some experience, and all that. And at the beginning, maybe it's hard, for you to, getting that from founder to a scale up. But it's still with me. Am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right game? Shall I just quit? Shall I just move on? These thoughts are still with me. Much easier to deal with them, obviously, because I've got the background and I've fortified myself and I've got the consistency and I know about it and I'm reflecting on it. What we're doing right now is reflecting, looking into it. That's why I love this podcast and talking with friends, because it's reflection and you fortifying these principles within you. But it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop, So keep asking the question, keep answering the question.
Reps in the gym. What do you
Reps in the
always
gym.
say? You always say reps in the gym.
Reps.
And what does that mean? The more reps you do, the stronger you become in the gym.
Oh,
More times you have that thought and you fight against it, the stronger you become. Reps in the gym, bro.
that's it.
And I think the biggest fear in business is the money, right? Is it going to work? Is it going to pay off? Are we going to pay these bills? Are we going to make this and that? But then it's like, if we took the money, and I'm talking kind of directly to you now, if we took the money aspect behind, completely, it wasn't a thing, we were absolutely fine, would you still do it?
Yeah.
Then that's the mindset we have to always keep, is don't worry about the money will come. This is a passion. This is something that we have connected. Me, you, and Imran, this is the way that we have connected. We have to keep going.
Yeah.
Have to keep going no matter what. Doesn't matter if it makes money or not makes money. This is something that we forever have to keep. And that's probably the same with you, right? And it's like, Little Jasmine is more than just a therapy, a massage therapy business.
Yeah.
It's a passion project. It's something that helps the community. It's something that people come in and afterwards probably feel so much better to do, right?
100%.
And that has to be the sole purpose of a business that I've found anyway.
Purpose is an important thing. I didn't discover it until we made a few million pounds, I have to say. But but when it came through, that purpose, that enlightenment sort of that I've had, it was after the lockdown. Because again we had that break and we took a break out of the ordinary, the day to day. So I could sit back, do a bit of therapy, work with myself, and then purpose emerged, not just for one of our businesses, for all our businesses. And I've mentioned it earlier, which is the enhancement of the well-being, physical and emotional, of our community, of 1 million people within our community, either through food, social experiences, massage treatments, facials, whatever. But it's that enhancement of well-being. Because when you're happy, you perform better. When you're happy, your life is different. You see things in a different light. And it's not a prerequisite for success. Success is not a prerequisite for happiness. Happiness is a prerequisite for success. So you can be happy with absolutely anything, but that will set you up to become successful in whatever endeavor. It might not business, it might be whatever you do, but happiness is not limited to to successful people, or at least how we define success within our society as well. It's innate. You can be happy right here and right now. And once you discover that, the sky's the limit, boys. Because you can export that shit. And that's exactly, once I realized, what, I'm actually quite happy, and it's not a function of the success that I had with the business. Personally, that opens doors, I think, from a mindset perspective. But happiness is not dependent on anything. Yes, if you're healthy, obviously that helps. Things help, but it's not really dependent. It's an independent thing that you can grasp and hold on to, that changes the whole structure of your life, the way you see things, the way you experience relationships, the way you do business. It's a different, it's a full well, and you can give. And when you start giving, you start receiving as well. And that's exactly what happened after the lockdown. I said, you know what? Our purpose is this. So we're gonna start doing charitable things. We're gonna start giving back to the community through my time, through excellent. But then, funnily enough, all that start coming back with interest commercially. You know, working with the university. We became a preferred supplier, for example, on their catering side, or working. So without actually planning it out, commercial gains start coming through our businesses because I've opened up and start giving without any consideration for commercial gains, if it makes sense.
It's good karma. That's what it is, isn't it? It's good karma.
You can call it that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The universe kind of opens up, man.
It listens.
In mysterious ways.
It does. And we found that quite a few times. It's like, and I think doing good actions when you don't expect a good thing to come back to you, that's when it's purposeful, because then you're doing it just solely to be good. And then, like you said, sometimes it just comes back to you and you go, oh, wow. Like, maybe this is because I was a good person in this moment. But that answer will never happen. You'll never realize, you'll never get the answer for a good action that you have done, and if you're going to get something back from it. So I think what's really important, and that's what I really like about you, and that's what we're trying to implement massively too, is be a good person to be a good person. Don't expect good things to come from it when you are a good person.
Expectations.
Yeah. Look after each other. Say hello to someone. Smile at someone. Help someone. Feed someone. Like, be a good person to be a good person.
Yeah, comes back.
It does come back.
It
comes back, and it has come back around.
I can testify to that. Yeah, comes back, boys. Comes back in a big way. Yeah.
In order, I think, to be a good person, it's coming back to the happiness side of it.
Yeah.
I think you need to really dig deep and be grateful for who you are.
Yes.
What you have.
Yes.
And who you have.
Yes.
If you can knuckle down the gratitude, and even if you practice it every day, and that's something that I'm really, really massive on. Be grateful for everything that you have now, but aspire for more.
Yeah.
And that's something that you always have to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can be grateful for what you have and have minimal stuff.
For sure.
But always strive for more.
Of course.
There's no harm in that.
Evolutionary, we're all up for improvement and, and all that. There's nothing wrong with that, I think, as long as it doesn't, you're not, sort of depending on the actual progress, on the results. I need to get that in order to, again, an attachment, I need to get that in order for me to be happy and feel in a certain way. When you don't have that dependency and you're just striving, and, what comes back. I'm not saying don't quantify it or don't measure it, we'll do half a meal, I'm not saying about that, but not achieving it or not hitting, that, if don't be a prerequisite for happiness. That's key.
Very true.
Otherwise, you'll always be chasing the next thing.
And you'll never be fully happy.
Bigger, better, wealthier, bigger boat, bigger car, bigger house, better wife, so on and so forth,
Yeah, you're always chasing. So I want to, and I think especially for the audience, but it will be for us too. You are successful. Like, you have done really well in business, community, and within yourself. And
at a local level.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? You're successful in many different ways. For young entrepreneurs, potentially like ourselves, what would be some advice that you would give?
Unreasonable dedication is my mantra, guys. I mean, it's such an important element. I know that you don't have the history, which doesn't obviously help, but you have the energy. So leverage that. You have the energy, you have tenacity, and ask for help. Reach out, ask for help, but don't expect things to drop out of the sky. You have to do the work. So I gave you a couple of leads. You need to follow up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that you have to do the work. So unreasonable dedication in your work, not only in your belief that this will work, but actual tangible work. Yeah. Go after it. Create systems, processes, tools that actually work in a consistent manner to continue building your business. And nothing to lose at this point. You got so much life ahead of you. Anything that you do, it's a bonus at this point in time. Anything that you do is an experience that you can take, learn from it, but learn. Don't just discard experiences. I mean, this is sinful to do. I think take the experiences and learn from it as well. So, are you young entrepreneurs? And I'll tell you what, entrepreneurship is on the rise because people are not having the pathways that they used to with entry level positions. I was sitting at a meeting the other day. Someone was saying about 30 entry level positions, 30% of all entry level positions in the UK are gone because of AI, because of system changes, because of X, Y, and Z, because of costs, because people are closing down businesses, so on and so forth. But, a million needs. I think you've seen the report probably out there. But what it did is because people don't have the traditional pathways into businesses, into entry-level position, they start creating shit themselves. They start building businesses. They start being really, really creative and building their own future. Like I did, because I was kicked, in the ass, by that crisis and lost my American Express job, then, you're doing exactly the same thing. The environment, is not helpful at this point in time for you guys, to get onto and work for a business. You create your own businesses.
Yeah.
That's thinking outside the box. That's necessity, mother of invention at its best at this point in time. So it wasn't just one advice. It was plenty of packets there, but I think that should be your driving force, I think, for any young entrepreneur, obviously. And you guys in it together as well. So you have, there's a good team dynamic as well. I've seen you in action, you like each other, you work with each other. I'm sure you have creative differences. Who doesn't? Like any good old couple. But use that. That's again, any tension is also an opportunity as well for more creative things to come out of it as well. And the art of compromise as well. That's not a bad thing. Compromising on specific bits of your vision, to win the day and then live to fight another day. For example, Nostos couldn't be the high-end restaurant that we wanted it to be right at the beginning because of the lockdown, because of the cost of living crisis. So we created a different mode. We were agile enough and mindful enough to create a different organization, more catered around value for money, catering, so on and so forth, to be able to survive. And now we're thriving because of that agility, because of that awareness as well, because of that creative tension that I had with my partner chef, for example. Good things come out of it. So don't shy away from a good crisis, from a good creative tension, because it's always good things that potentially will come out of it as well.
I'm going to throw a little curveball into today's episode,
Well, go for
which
it.
is going to be quite fun. George doesn't even know about this
Do a
yet.
challenge. Go for it.
But before we do that, if anyone's watching and they want to follow you along, follow your journey, or visit any one of your businesses,
Sure.
where can they find it?
Okay. So the website that encompasses everything is Brighton Hive. It's the Brighton Hive Group, which means the Big Fat Greek Club, Nostos Catering, Nostos the Restaurant, Lear Jasmine Therapies and Spa, Simply Urban, Be Well, Live Well. All these businesses under one banner on the Brighton Hive. Obviously on LinkedIn, prolific. I do at least once per week something, an insight or an update on our businesses as well. And end of the day, for a face-to-face time, come to the Big Fat Greek Club. We're running it every other month from Nostos, a congregation of business people and the civic leaders and charities, so on and so forth, and students. I'm inviting a lot of students from the University of Brighton as well, academics. So we mingle and we build things together as a community. So the Big Fat Greek Club summer party is coming up on the 24th of July. That probably going to go out in later on, but I'm just saying, So this is our invitation for anyone out there to come in and build community alongside of us as well, because that's what we do. We're in the process, we're in the business of building community, enhancing and evolving community as well, not just a static thing, evolving, evolution as well.
The last podcast we recorded,
Right.
I asked them to give us a question for the next guest. And I'm going to leave that one to the last minute.
Right.
It's going to be the final question of today's episode. But before that, me and George are going to ask you two questions each, kind of like a quick fire
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
So you've got to get thinking now. So yeah, 4 questions total.
Okay.
My first question is going to be, what does success mean to you?
Happiness. Yeah, being happy. That's success. I mean, by itself, that's it.
Over to you.
Wow, yeah, right on the spot. I love
Sorry,
it. I'm
Oh,
so here.
think about it. I am reading a book, by the way, which I definitely recommend out there for your readers, The Happiness Advantage. So I'm really kind of into that sort of the science behind it. And there's a lot of research behind it as well. What happiness look like, and what it can do to someone's brain, I guess, in the long term as well. The Happiness Advantage, definitely recommend it.
Okay. Oh, that wasn't long enough.
So I do have another one if you want me to go again. If you could sit down and interview anyone on your own podcast, dead or alive, who would you choose and why?
Barack Obama. He's a
great
fucking
answer.
legend. That's why I've heard him speak live at the O2 6 months ago. I was just being within that room. I think it's one of our, I think, definitive voices. The 21st century. I think great respect. He didn't do everything right. Don't get me wrong, but he's definitely someone I look up to.
What is your favourite thing about Brighton?
It's people. It's always the people, guys. I mean, like, it's a seaside resort, but it's the people, the energy, the Brighton bubble effect. I don't care. I love our bubble. I want to be here. I am here 22 years. I'm invested in a big way. My son is a Brightonian, born and bred. So people.
And I fully agree. It's a beautiful place. And my final question would be what is one quote that gets you through your week?
Well, I mean, I've mentioned unreasonable dedication comes up from the book from one of my mentors, but I'm currently preparing for, I was given the honor to address the graduates this summer on the 29th of July at the Brighton Centre. Graduates, the parents, and everyone, about 800 people in total, as a keynote speaker. So I'm going to be doing that. The last thing I'm going to be sharing with them is from a poem from a award-winning Nobel poet, a Greek Nobel, Kavafis, P.C. Kavafis, which says very simple in the first verse of his poem, Ithaca. And it's all about the return to Ithaca. Ulysses finishing the Trojan War, if you know your classics, and going back home. It took him 20 years to get back home. Going through turbulations, and the movies coming out as well, which you probably see and, understand a little bit about history. And Kavafis is outlining on his first verse and says, may your road be long and adventure, full of adventure, full of excitement, because end of the day, it's all about the journey. It's not the destination that you're reaching. So that's what I'm going to close. I'm not actually phrasing it correctly. I'm not, but this is the gist of it. It's all about the journey. May your journey be long and prosperous and full of adventure. And I think that's what gets me through. It's not the first time, obviously, I know the poem, from back high school when we done, but that's what gets me through, because it's all about the journey. All about the journey.
Not the destination.
Enjoy, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful.
Beautiful.
Okay, final question
Yeah.
then of today, and then I'm also going to get you to give me one
Oh my God.
for the next guest.
Oh my
so I need you
goodness.
to start racking your brain. But the question that was given was, what are you currently doing to take that next step?
I was thinking in another podcast about 6 months ago, a very similar question came up. The answer was and is the same. For me to continue to develop as a human being, to understand myself and, the whatever limits or not of my character and personality and all that, is very simple. I need to make space. To make space, in order for me to discover more of myself, I need to shed whatever I've built up to this point. So at some point, through a careful but conscious process, I need to give up everything in order for me to make space to continue discovering myself. That means Kyriakos the business person, Kyriakos the keynote speaker, Kyriakos the chair of University of Brighton. All that needs to go in order for me to continue the journey. So I think that's what prepares me for the next step of my evolution as a human being, man. getting rid of all the identities, going back to square one, and continue looking and searching and an explorer of sorts. That's it.
What is one question that you're going to give to the next guest that we have on?
I'm gonna use a friend of mine, Sam Thomas. He's running a podcast as well, but it's one question that he's asking. But I made it a habit in asking, and whatever can I get an opportunity to stand on a stage and speak to someone, and I'm asking the same question: what does success look like to you at this point in your life? I think you've asked me the same question. I said happiness, but I'm really interested to understand people's perspective on what success looks like at this point in their life. So that's my question for your next guest.
But Kyriakos, what an episode.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Genuinely, I'm going to rewatch this many times because there's so many things that I'm going to actually take away from this episode.
You can just hang out with me. I can continue repeating
let's
the
hang out
lessons.
more.
That's
I'd
it.
love that. Hey, let's hang out all the time. I'm so down
No
for
problem,
that.
man.
But genuinely, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on
Thank
today.
you for having me,
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. And I just have to say something. It takes two to tango. Well, three in this particular case, right? So it's your input as well.
Yeah.
And your energy that makes this successful as well. So continue being authentic, bring yourselves in this podcast, not just go through the questions, and you bring the energy and a genuine desire to learn from it, which I can see in your eyes, I can see in your, because I know you now for a few months. So continue bringing that authenticity on the table. That will resonate with people. It does resonate with people. That will make all the difference in the world as well. When I start being more of me, rather than trying to emulate other things around me, then real stuff start happening in my life. So continue doing that. You're on the right path.
If you have enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button and subscribe. Check out Kyriakos. All the links are down in the description. And until next week, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.